Guys, what up? We're back on another one. This should be episode 4, I believe. I did not really think this was going to turn into a series, but here we are. We've got some special things. Look at the timestamps below. We're going to be introducing and showing, not showing, but like I have some combat reports for you guys. I switched to the 1,000 fleets of Corvettes. We're actually going to pull them up right now, so let's just jump into this. You guys can see my policy cards I'm running now. So the reason I did this, so on the last episode I was running space lanes here just for the 2 movement, and the other card that we were running here on the last one was Frontier Piracy, which was just savings or resource savings on making Corvettes, but I don't really need it anymore, and I'll show you why. Okay, so we instead have swapped this to Belligerence, and we instead swapped this to Viva. And Viva is a different reason, but Belligerence, there was one fight in which we needed both of these pieces. So you can kind of see the setup: overkill, preemptive to hit hangars, firepower, Belligerence for 10% plunder, and setting up our 1,000 slot Corvette stacks. So we'll do this. So how are we going to do this? So we'll do this. So from the last episode to this one, it's been, I think, at least a couple of days. What has happened is from my capital, from this location where we have kind of our ice, where this is where the first station I sent out when I started this server, we have moved. So most of the fighting. So the reason why this front, so where I was operating out of last time, my Fires of Heaven, and attacking into what used to be, we'll hit Control H here. These stations, look at, there's no more capitals here anymore. Every single one of these players has moved away from this position. They either blew up or they straight up had to move away because just was not worth it taking Gatos hits. And now we have a fob in here. We have a fob in here blowing up stations. We're taking benders here. We are sabotaging and bombing their stations. They don't want to be here anymore, so they moved. And they've relocated out here in Draco. So you can see, I've Control H if, toggling this. So this area is now a different front. We were operating over here. It's about, from my capital to Fobs, it's about a 3-hour flight. From when I made the station from here to here was about, I think, 8 hours. So from here to here, it took me 8 hours to get there and then kind of dump all of my build R cards. But you guys can see, this is the new area that I am running Gatos into. So there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 capitals here of different people in pink or SA, and that's what we've been throwing our vets into. So I will kind of connect the dots on this. So the reason why I swapped these cards, and we'll get into this, is it was a new op for me, was wanting to hit something. It's not, I can have 17, 18, 19,000 Corvettes in my, that I own or that I have, but they're not doing anything and impacting the map if I don't use them. So like I said, I landed this station here, and over the course of 2 days, or like a day and a half, I was able to land it. And you guys can see here, so the way I built this, we do have a less Apaches on here, so 20%. Acquisitions is 40. So I will explain this. So when I sent the op in the air, so I sent 15,000 Corvettes on a raid. The campaign directorate was only level 2, but I was building it as I was flying towards my target. When I was in the air for 4.5 hours, I was able to get campaign from level 2 to level 7 as I could as I was leveling up campaign, I would click on my Corvettes, and it was buffing them as the ship or this passive buff got higher, which is amazing. So I sent the op. It was a 5 hour, 4.5, 5 hour flight with my 15,000 Corvettes, and I was buffing this building as I was flying. You can see campaign directorate here. It says on there operating fleets. So like I said, I made this station. I moved from my old station. I sent most of my ships to this new one, and I'm constantly sending ships from my capital here. And this is where I'm going to be operating from and throwing ships this way. So from here to here, we can look at this right now. Do I have anything? I do have one here. So let's look. So from this location, you guys can see this is path right here to where. So like I'm trying to from here. It's it's at 6 hours. Okay, so it's a 6 hour flight. So kind of explain. So this is it. This is like literally just a station I threw down. That's pure military, so I can operate out of it and throw Corvettes out of or Gatos out of. So it does have a gate. It does have rocket on here. It does have EM launch pad. Campaign doctorate is 10, and we're spamming vets and doing all kinds of stuff. So I want to explain. So we can look. Say it's 13 hours ago. So we can see here. So I'll explain this op. The op that I wanted to use, at the time I was sitting at about 18,000 Corvettes. I had relocated 15,000 of them at that path station. An 8-hour flight out here. We had spied. We have a TN player, spied where ships were. This team had ships located at their fob, and like there's various capitals in here that I could target. So I could have easily targeted their fob, but I didn't want to. I knew when I sent the fakes out that they would think that I was going to hit their fob. Instead, I hit this player. So this player, I knew from day one when I started tracking all of the people in their alliance, this guy's a Gatos player as well. He's spamming lights. And so most of the time, as a Gatos player, you want to headhunt other Gatos players. You get, I don't know, I'm trying to knock down threats. And like I said myself, like you can see what I'm doing. I'm a huge threat. And if I can take out the threat by killing their Gatos player, that's what I want to do. So I saw this juicy target right here. We spied this. This person had almost all of their ships here, and they were just chilling, building up their pool of lights like I'm doing, and other ships. So I spied this, and so I faked the three, so 4 capitals and a fob is where I ran this op, and you guys can see here. So this happened like 19 hours ago is when I had relocated all of my Corvettes, and I set up this op because it was a 6-hour flight out here. This combat report was from 13 hours ago. So I'd sent up fakes. If they're guessing, or maybe they don't care. Who cares? Maybe they're AFK. Who knows? But they're guessing where my hit's coming in. If they can see, and if they have a TN Chow player, they spy where my labor is coming from and see that I have 15,000 Corvettes somewhere on the map flying. So they have to guess where this hit's coming in at. So this I saw this part. I picked this target, and I came in and I hit this. So I had swapped. So to connect the dots on this, why did I swap on this card? I swapped belligerence on because I'm trying to hit that 100% plunder mark. When I had set up the op, I had 15 fleets of 1,000 Corvettes. But some of them did not have the 24% plunder card. Some of, like, probably half of the ships did not, or the fleets did not have them. So it's an average. When you have any number of fleets and with plunder, it's going to take an average. So some of them have 104, some of them have 80. It's going to take an average of, and so when I had looked to hit this target, I was only at 80, like 80% or 80. I don't know. Oh no, it was 86%. So when I swapped that card on, it put me to 96%. So when I did this hit, I did not have 100% plunder. I only had 96%, but it was good enough. So like I said, I know I'm explaining a lot of stuff here, but I swapped both those policy cards. I slam like these right here. You can see my ships have 1,000 in them. I land this station. I level it up a little bit, and I get my plunder buffs from here, and then I set up and set up 5, 1, 2, 3, 6 raids out here. 5 of them were fakes, and this is where my fleet went. So so I know I did enough babbling here. Let's look at the combat report from that hit. So we got, oh, sorry. Let's just delete this search. And there it is. So look at this report. Okay. I send 15,000 Corvettes, and I lose 95.5% of the fleets, but they survived. So you can see this. So let's look at it. So 15,000. You can see I lost 952 out of each one. But let's look at the report. So I did 3.1 million firepower. He had 2 million sitting there. And I only had 2.7 million HP. He had 5 million sitting there. But look at his losses, okay? So this is res, how much resources were lost on this fight. And you can see here almost over 3 million, easy. So 7 is 1.5, 1.6. So we're looking at 3.2, 3.3 million destruction value. That's ships that were destroyed here, and my losses. So that's we're looking at like 1.8 there. So almost double amount of resource losses. And why is that? Because you can look up here. So look at the units, the type of units that were lost. 320 carriers, 655 heavies, and then almost 11.6 thousand lights. And I did the time value. So how much time it took me to make my ships was 34 days, and his was 37 days. So in terms of time, it's almost the same, but almost double the amount of resources and the quality of ships. He lost almost 1,000 heavies and capitals, and I just lost 14,300 Corvettes. So we can see this. Once again, this is a hard combat report because look at this. He has like 37 fleets here. It's kind of hard to tell. So completely fleeted up light ships. So 5, 10, 12 stacks. We've got 353 frigates fleeted up. We had 55 carriers. We had 185 carriers that I ran into. And then we had 80 in this hangars that he lost 57. Like you can see the quality of ship here was just massive. That I'm only using lights. Like let me put this in perspective. Okay? Like I still like me, I'm making carriers. I have not lost one carrier this server. You guys can see my carriers. I've got almost 600 carriers here, and then I have a bunch of carriers at home that I'm making. So I've got like 700 carriers right now, and I just killed like 300 and whatever that this guy had. So you can see just the quality of ship that's getting lost here is just massive. When you're trading lights for heavies and carriers, it's a bad day. So I just wanted to share that. So that was my op. I knew that this was a juicy target. I almost lost everything. You can see I only had 4.8% of my ships survived. 48. So if this was 100 and I have 1,000, that would be so these are 100 and these are out of 1,000. That'd be 10%. So this is 40 or 4.8% of my fleets died or survived, and the rest were lost. But they did survive. So now all of these are level 3 or possibly close to level 4 fleets now. And then I can just come back and finish the job. Like I can just like yesterday I was at 5,000. After this op I was down to like 4,000 Corvettes. But right now, so I can go like this. Just go and throw all of my ships into my hangars real quick. So I'm just hitting my number pad and hitting the arrow thing here, and it'll throw it into wherever it's supposed to go. And so now I can just go like this /ships. I'm at 9,500. So like I've made, I'm almost back to 10,000 Corvettes again. And maybe tomorrow I'm at 14, 15,000, and I can just do the same thing again. So like every 2 or 3 days, you're throwing 15,000 Corvettes and running in and making that same combat report. It's amazing. It does take, it takes you're taking a little bit of, it takes patience. You're having to rebuild your fleet. But I'm making so many Corvettes, I'm able to do other things on the map. So that was the one combat report that we had. This was the big hit. The recent big hit that I had was this one. So you guys can see this. 27,600 ships participated, 55,000. And the reason why it says I defeated them is because of the fact that, look at the destruction value. So like I said, we're almost, the amount of losses in terms of resources is almost double. And then like I said, the type of ship that was lost is just, so much higher with carriers and heavies than just losing some stupid Corvettes. And then there's another op I want to share. So maybe hopefully the timestamps will reflect this. This is op 2 that I'll show. Is like while we're waiting. So you have this downtime, like right now, like in the last day or so, like last 12 hours, I'm low on ships. I just lose 14,000 Corvettes. So what do we do in that downtime? So this player, we just hit this guy. We just sent this guy back to the Dark Ages in terms of his ships. And they probably might still just be sitting here because that was like I'll see you later hit, So now, the same player, I can see. So having vision, I can see this location that's way closer. So from here to here, we'll see how far this flight is. So this is a 3.5 hour flight. And this station has, we can see it. It has a mining colony here, and it has a trading port. So once again, I send another, you guys can see my 3 fakes are in the air. So I run another op from this station, and I'm trying to use my ships. I always want to be using my ships. So I make another op. I send off 3 fakes at capitals and the fob. So I think this one's going to the fob. Yep, this one's going to a capital, and this one's going to a capital, the same guy. But I'm also attacking his station that's way closer. And so I'm using my ships. You can see this. So once again, I'm using 5 ships or 5 fleets that have 100% plunder. And you guys can see these 5,000 Corvettes had 190,000 cargo space. And you can see how much resources we looted. We looted 190,000 resources. And you can see why that I swapped off that resource cost card from my for Corvettes is because look how much in 7 hours, not only running flares, but I'm raiding, and I'm getting 200,000 resources just by smacking a station. And so now all these resources are going to come back here, and then I can do whatever I want with them. So utilizing my ships, and then this is another op that I have in the air, which is just hitting marauders. Like I'm doing things with my ships. So this once again has 100% plunder. We're hitting a marauder over here, so I had spied it. So this marauder had, 15,000, but it has container port on it. So there's some hidden resources here. So maybe if I hit this for 25,000 resources, that's nice. That's enough. I'm doing something with my ships. So that you can see this has 22,500 cargo. That's perfect. So I just said we could see about 15. By the time it gets here, there might be 23,000 resources here, and that's exactly what we sent. So that's perfect. And then we are kind of far, so the last thing I'll really say is I am kind of far. I could come back into the starting area and start hitting all of the marauders that are out here. So all these marauders, I could be raiding, but instead of doing that, I'm just running missions. So like I said, I'm using my ships to do things because like right now, so I'll connect the dots. So I've done probably 6 or 7 bigger hits. I had the this one, the one that I just did, and I've been constantly running fakes. So I've probably used at least 100 cadet cards. So this card, let's see. So I've used about 100 of these. I'm running out. So I'm down to 8 of these, and I'm down to 8 of the raid cards. So I really do need to be, like I said, you want to be using your fleets. And, I just zerged my ships into something. At least I can sit here and I can run missions and get more cards. Let's see, is there anything else? So there's a last thing I want to say. As the server has been going, like I do, I have carriers now. I have my giant pool of Corvettes, but I also have my carriers. You want to have 2 separate ice labor stations for your buffs. So I'll say this again. I have one station, this station, that has all of my buffs for Gatos. See my Gatos, I've got Magna on here, but up top, I don't have any of my carrier buffs. That's a problem. So on my second station, so I landed a second station here for labor. I've got another labor station. It's got, right now it's got 12,000 pool with a, outpost level 5 dome. And we're starting to get the public transport up, which is buffing my habitation dome. And we're starting to get War Council up on this. You guys can see this. This is buffing my carriers. So it's nice to have 2 separate labor stations, for one for Gatos and then one for your carrier buffs. In my eyes, it's good to just, you're gonna have, like, when I lose, you guys can see I'd lose 14,000 Corvettes. That frees up a lot of labor. So this station that I have my Gatos on, it still has, enough, it's less than 600 labor with my military building and my pilots, all of my pilots buffs. Let's look at them. These guys right here. It's minus 5% labor upkeep on lights. So like it might only be like 500. We can look. So let's go like this. So we'll look at this fleet. How much labor is on this fleet? This fleet. So this fleet is taking 650. So when they were fleets of 800, it was way less, but now it's 650. So 1,000 ships is only 650 labor, which is amazing, because of like on this new station, this station that I just put down. The reason I put it here is because I got another Royal Pilots. It's buffing the firepower on all my Corvettes, and it's reducing the labor value of this. So I know I babbled a lot there. Let's look. We can actually look at this last report of the, you can see this. It's an uncontested hit. We've got 5,000 units. It didn't hit anything because this is not his capital, but we raided 190,000 resources. The same thing with an uncontested hits. So back at where we used to be on the last video, like I said, we were posted up here. Oh, we're already back. So I can set this up. I can set this up right now. Is all of these stations, like this person's like AFK. We can see vision. There's no missile batteries here. Here, there's a missile battery here, but it's level 1. These people have not been online. They're all done. So I just hit it. So we can look at this combat report. Actually, I'm gonna set this up right now because we're just gonna rate it. Uncontested hits for rating. So you can see this 15,000, 21,000 resources. Well, I'll just look at this. We'll go like this. I'll tell you. This guy has 21,801 cargo space. And so this report matches that. So you can see uncontested hits. We're rating with 100% plunder. You're taking everything. Anything this station is generating, you're taking it. So there it is. And so that's the build portion of this. Using your ships, raiding, 100% plunder, hitting capitals, sending out fakes, like eventually hitting fobs. Like you can do anything with this build in terms of smacking stuff. But we can go to this will be we are on Event Horizon 17 and politics view. So we can go to overview. We're at 9 points. We're operating on the map. So you can see here, there is a troop carrier. This bender just got cleared, so that's point. We've got all of these already marked. We're going to be clearing them and taking them, so that's 3 more points. That's 12. We have one more here, which is 13. It's already sabotaged. You guys can see this. It's already sabotaged. That's 13 points. Let's see. And then we've already taken one here, and so we got these ones. This 4 in our 5 clusters that we have 15 points. So if you guys don't know, the way you can get an early win on a server is starting the timer. So if you come up here at the politics and you look at overview, read more. So there are 24 total victory points on the map. The alliance that holds the most VPs. Alternatively, if an alliance or sector manages to claim 13 or more for 72 hours, it'll trigger an early win. So that's what we're trying to do. We have all of this downtime with kind of smushing the people that we were fighting. And now we're fully focused on trying to get the timer and wrap up the server. Like, we're extremely far ahead. The last time that I was looking at Navy, like the team that we're fighting, our Navy score was going up about 210,000. No. Maybe it was. Let me, you guys can't see this, but let me look. Let me look here. Track. Let's see. We did. So we went up 216,000 Navy score, and they went up 74. So we're almost 3 times the amount of Navy score as the team that we're fighting, just because of their 2 main guys. We've just completely they either self-destructed or we bombed their stations, so their ship production just melted, and we just, you know, kind of squashed them. So that's the early win condition. Once again, is taking the benders. We've got 3 there. We've already got these 3. We are in the process of taking. We have 2 of these. There's a third one. We have these 3, and there you go. So we're getting close. And then we already have a station here for these 3. So we have stations close enough to 18 points, and we have the guy, or the crew is already warping and squashing other things. We've got a fob here doing alliance assaults and killing ice stations. We have another group, another fob, sabotaging, taking TCing victory points and blowing up enemy stations, all that good stuff. So I know I rambled there. Hope you guys enjoyed these. There might be one more, maybe when we hit 13 points and we start the timer, and maybe I'll be able to build up another giant pool of Corvettes and be able to slap something again and maybe have another good combat report for you guys. Appreciate you guys. Till next time, as a gambler. Peace.